If you're wondering if you can actually buy a business while keeping your job, you absolutely can. It's called a part-time search, and hundreds, thousands of people are doing it. What it is you say working on your full-time job, call that 40 hours, 60 hours a week. And so what do you invest into the deal process? You invest your nights, your weekends, some time with your kids, maybe your lunch break on your day job. All this extra time that you have, you put it towards the search. So you're asking, well, Elliott, how the heck with 10, 15 hours a week could I ever compete with somebody putting 60 hours in? Well, first off, probably 40% of the people that you know that bought businesses did it on a part-time basis while they kept their job. Second, it's very easy. If you want to get to the same outcome as somebody else who has more time, you have to be more scrappy, more efficient, and more thoughtful about where you make investments to what I call multiply your time. Multiply your time, what the heck is that? Well, if you've got 10 to 15 hours a week between nights, weekends, lunch breaks, right? You got to make that 15 hours feel like 45. You can't spend 3 days trying to make a decision. You can't spend 4 months trying to figure out how to value a company. You can't spend 2 weeks on how to figure out working capital. You have to multiply your time. The way you multiply your time is you get help. But Elliott, help costs. And everybody tells me don't spend any money until I have a letter of intent. Well, here's the thing. If you're going to spend $50,000 to $100,000 between the beginning of your search and the end, and you want to push that $100,000 or $50,000 until the absolute last moment, why is that any better than saying, let me just spread that investment out over time so I don't have to spend as much time being silly and making dumb mistakes on the path? I can actually get help so I can be smarter, quicker, and get better deals closer to closing, closest to the beginning of my search versus the end. And so what does help look like? Help is an advisor. Some people call them river guides. Some people call them buy-side advisors. Some people call them just a person that can coach you through. And what you're saying is, hey, I'm making 6 figures. I have some money. I have some savings. I don't want to totally blow my family off, and I can't totally blow my job off. So let me make a 5-figure. Let me make a 4-figure investment in my excellence so I can start with a solid foundation and start actually winning within 30 days of starting versus most people who it takes them 6-7 months to even get going at a pace that they should expect that they might be able to get a deal done. So multiplying your time. Let's talk about it. So you're 2, 3, 4 months onto your path, right? And it's like the excitement of, man, look, I'm looking for a business to buy. I'm going to buy a 7-figure business. Now you're just tired. Your wife's upset. You haven't seen your kids in a couple of weeks. So what does multiplying your time mean? What it means is you have responsibilities that you're the kind of person you're not going to schlep on them or let them go to the side. There's also the same family unit that you have now is the same family unit you're going to have when you buy this business. So you can't sacrifice them because you go through this thing that has some probability, but it's not 100%. So multiplying your time is saying, hey, look, I value my job. I value my family. I value my sleep. I value my weight. So I'm willing to invest to make these 10 to 15 hours that I have feel like 45 hours. And why do they feel so much bigger? They feel bigger because, hey, you look at this deal, you have 10 questions: valuation, working capital, is the industry solid? Who else bought something like this? What's the best lender for it? How do I get this deal on the letter of intent? How do I get a term sheet from the bank? You don't know how to answer those questions, but a person like me does. And so if you get in one of my programs, those 7 or 8 questions that you have, we can get on a 10-minute phone call. I can answer all of them for you. And instead of spending 10 hours just trying to answer 8 questions, you now have 8 questions answered in 10 minutes. And now you get to spend those 10 hours going after deals. But that doesn't happen once. That happens every single week during your 6 or 9 or 12-month process. So all the simple stuff that's knowable is actually coming into your lap through your advisor. And the only things that you really have to worry about are the deal-specific things that you have to invest the time to understand, and then you bring it right back to a person like me who's your advisor, who explains what's actually going on in the situation and what to do. So multiplying your time is making 10 hours feel like 45 by making an investment in the success of your process. Let's cut to the chase. Success in buying a business is a game of information. What is the seller like? What is the seller scared about? What is the broker concerned about? What does the bank want? What is your family comfortable with? What deals are available within 2 hours of your front door? How do you actually get sellers to accept your letter of intent? How do you actually put together a memo for a bank to get them excited about a deal? All of that is information, but you don't have it. So what happens when you don't have information in the game of information? You lose. And you lose not just once, but you lose every single week. Most people who are successful at this look at 100 deals. 100. I would commit to you that for most folks, it takes 4 to 6 months to get good at this because their information is whack. Until they get to deal 50 or 60, they're not even swinging the bat in a place where they can hit a ball. Not even really in the game. And so how do you correct this? How do you even the playing field? How do you make this work for you? The way you make this work for you is your time is valuable. Your time, it matters how you spend it. And the information that you need, you can't just Google this stuff. Yeah, people are spending time on Twitter and talking about things, but nobody knows that HVAC deal in Phoenix that does this kind of work with this kind of bank, with this kind of seller, with this situation. No, man. Your tweet will be too long. Nobody will read it. And let me be honest. All those friends that you sort of have that are in the deal world, they don't have time to spend an hour with you on the phone after they spend an hour reading your email explaining the situation to give you any kind of advice, if their advice will be any good. Because I tell you, the big deal folks are really terrible at small deal advice. So this is a game of information. So it's a 7-figure game of information. So the question I keep asking people is sort of, what is it worth to be successful in a 7-figure game of information? What is it worth to you? Meaning you're going to invest your 4, 6, 8 months regardless. What does it matter if you could in day 15 or 30 be as good as somebody who's been at this for 9 months? Because isn't the goal to win? And you can't win without the information. For those that what I said just made sense to you, the next step is go to the first link in my bio in the description below. And you're going to see all of the options that I have to help you get your deal done right away. All the options that I have to take your 16 days and make it feel like 6 or 9 months. All the ways that you can take a very small investment and get a 7-figure return. So go ahead, click the link, and let's get started today.